Hello, Steve White, Trekboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, it's about 4:20 a.m. in the morning in Australia. I am so tired. I just watched Lower Decks. I procrastinated for a few hours because I didn't want to watch it. I really didn't want to watch it. And it actually wasn't that bad. It was probably the best episode out of all of them. I had the least problem with it. I almost laughed 3 times, which is a record. I should just get those out of the way. Oh no, I'll get to them when they come in. Yeah, it actually just, I'm really shocked it wasn't that bad. They weren't really attacking Star Trek. They weren't really humiliating anyone. They weren't really degrading anyone. They weren't demeaning anyone. They weren't making a joke out of the whole series or any ideas or philosophies of the show. They were just having fun with a situation, which is kind of what the series should be. You should be able to laugh with the characters in a situation. You should be joining them, not sort of looking at them from the outside like they're a joke, like it sort of was in the beginning. We've got 3 stories this time. Now the main one, I mean, they kind of go in reverse. So, okay, the big story, would have been that there is a moon that is basically going into the atmosphere of a planet, and they have this big diplomatic problem where they've got 3 races or 3 sides of one race who are conflicted about how they should deal with this problem. Now, the first, they've got a religious issue. The other one, they've got farming issue, and then the other one, it's a matter of destroying their home, the planet. So they're trying to decide what to do. So they get down to being stuck with the one situation where there's one group that, in order, they just can't fix the problem. Like, they can't get out of destroying the planet and what to do. So we have the main captain and the commander dealing with that. Now, so that's like the least important story. The middle story, I guess the B story, that would be the C story. The B story is the one I actually kind of liked both of the stories, which is kind of surprising. Before, I liked the stuff with Tendi and Rutherford more. This one starts off really well. They are so excited because the episode starts off with a Parliament-class ship, the Vancouver, which is bigger, and the opening shot is actually of the ship just blocking out the Cerritos and making it look small and dinky. And they're there to aid them in dealing with this, diplomatic crisis with this moon crashing into this planet, blah, blah, blah. And they're just excited about the new ship. They're just like, oh my God. They're like little kids. And it was kind of cute. I liked it. I like that about them. They're just so excited. They just love what they do. They love being engineers. They are excited to be there. And that's one of the things I love about Star Trek, and always loved about Star Trek, is that it was just a great place to be, a great career to have, and people wanted to be on starships, and these engineers really love what they do. So they go over to the other ship, and they're all like oohing and ahhing over everything. And I think the first thing I kind of laughed at, I didn't totally laugh, but kind of laughed at, was Rutherford was talking about how he's basically going to resolve a bunch of issues and then go back to engineering like a hero, and there's a shot of him standing on the warp core holding up like a tricorder with a light coming behind him like he's God or something, and it was kind of random, and it kind of almost made me laugh. So that was one. And that's for the most part their story, except it comes to a point where there's a commander, what was his name? God, I wrote it down. Ron Dossant, and he basically gives them like a project, like try this, and if you do this, I'll give you the tricoders to use. And the catch is that they have to use them on the ship because he wants to transfer them, because he wants to transfer them in and him out, because he can't handle all the excitement of this big ship. It's too much. He wants to go to a small ship where nothing happens because it's all epic. So, and this is the part kind of gets annoying. When they were competitive, it kind of took the fun out of it because they were competing against each other to do the best job. And then when they find out he's going to transfer them, they literally steal his pad and run off of it, and they're like running around the ship with his pad. And I'm like, how would that stop him transferring them just because they took his pad? It was just really stupid. It wasn't really funny or cute. It was just kind of stupid. Fortunately, it didn't last long. It wasn't the main part of the episode. Once they revealed that he was trying to transfer himself as well, when they're trying to undo the transfer or whatever, which again is just stupid. They talk to him and they sort it out and they resolve the issue and he stops the transfer and blah, blah, blah. And it's all fine. But when they were just doing engineering stuff and just high on engineering, they were just really cute and I really enjoyed that part of it. The other part, the main story, of course, is between, and this is something Cole pointed out, is they keep just teaming up these two and not really having the whole group deal with the problem or be involved in one story. They're always sort of split up. And so this is Boima and Mariner. And Boima is dating a lady on the ship. And she's amazing. She's attractive and great at her job and everything. And at first, Mariner doesn't believe he's got a girlfriend. She thinks it's a hologram or just something. She just doesn't believe it. And she's giving him crap because she's sort of being her usual self, but not as annoying or hideous because you can kind of see she's kind of jealous and she's actually protective of him because she thinks it's insulting because she thinks he couldn't have someone with genuine attraction to him, but she's trying to protect him from some life-sucking salt vampire or something that, is like tricking him into thinking it's romantically involved so it can like lay an egg in him or something, So that she sucks him into this where they're running around trying to work out what is wrong with her, why she's dating him, and he of course embarrasses himself, and then he sort of says, "I'll screw you," and then he gets jealous because she is friends with someone else from the ship who's like this really hot black guy, and he's perfect, of course, so he's jealous of that. So he starts acting like a dick all on his own, like really douchey, and it's not as cringy as the stuff he normally does. It's still kind of cringy, but it's not relatable, but it's just tolerable. And she's still running around trying to like sneak up on her basically and catch her and try and work out what's wrong with her. And eventually, Boima sort of calms down, and they go back to normal. And then it just sort of looks like she's kind of paranoid or jealous. But Mariner keeps going. Eventually, she finds the pod to like a hatchling to like a hatched shell to like an egg or something. So she detects a parasite and she thinks it's in. I forgot the name of the character. Was it Lisa? Oh God, I didn't write it down. Barbara. I can read my writing for a change. She basically puts on a spacesuit and jumps out an airlock to get to the shuttle that he's on, or the whatever, not deck. It's like a almost like a little ship, like where they're like dealing with the moon thing and all that. So he's on there, and that's the scene where he's naked and he's trying to be sexy, and then she walks in and he's screaming and all that, and eventually he knocks himself out. And Barbara turns up and they're fighting because she's convinced that Barbara has a parasite in her. And eventually they stop fighting and they talk, and they kind of start to bond. And she just scan me. She scans and there's no parasite, but she does detect a parasite, and they find out it's in Boilerma. It's in the back of his head. So they remove it, and then they find out that the reason why she was attracted to him was that the parasite was basically making him attractive to like her. So she dumps him because the magic is literally gone because the parasite is in a little glass thing, and she's taking it off to study it, and she's more interested in the parasite than him. So he's also actually dumped, and it's annoying because Mariner is right that she wasn't really attracted to him for him, and it was a parasite, but it was in him, not in her. And then she's like, oh, let's meet up again, because she's befriended Barbara and now they're like friends. So she kind of stole his girlfriend in a way, but she didn't actually do it. You know what I mean? Like it just happened. It was just the circumstance. So it wasn't this evil sort of trying to humiliate him, or it wasn't it didn't sort of come across like all the other times that she just was being a total monster. It just sort of happened, but it still serves the same purpose, but it's just not as on the nose. So basically everything ends up happily ever after. It's I didn't get to the actual end of the other story, and that's the other point. I forgot there was another point where I nearly laughed. I forgot what it was, but this was one where I pretty much laughed. I hate to admit, but yeah, I pretty much laughed. Basically, they are still trying to resolve the problem of the moon and the asteroid or whatever, and the guy is talking. He's like, "You can't destroy my world," blah, 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 blah. And she basically, and how they don't know this, but she basically asks him how many people are there, and he's like, "Oh, it's just me and my wife. We're rich. We're basically on the planet." And he's like, "Oh, for F's sakes, it's just the two of you. That's it. Boom, the planet is gone." And just the way she states it, just the way it came out, it was just quick. It's the quick sort of random sort of comments and things that kind of get me, because I guess subconsciously I'm trying not to like the show, but they kind of get me by surprise. I nearly laughed at that. So that resolves that. They let the planet go in, the moon go in, just basically destroys the planet, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of all done. Rutherford and that, they end up staying on the ship because they feel like it's their home. They kind of like the fact the ship is falling apart and needs them, and they know everyone, and that's kind of nice. Mariner and that, you do get a sense that she actually cares about him, and she's not just treating him like a pet or someone to just humiliate or whatever. And there was an interesting scene where she was on another ship. They did a flashback to I think it was a ship called the Keto, and she was dating some friend was dating some guy, and she jokes, "Oh, you're like a shape changer," and he is. So then he suddenly reveals himself and kills her friend, and she's traumatized by that. And they're on a ship at Deep Space Nine. So we weren't on Deep Space Nine, but we were at Deep Space Nine, and they actually had the uniforms and everything, and that was kind of interesting. But yeah, basically I was just shocked on watching it. I'm like, this is not really bad, and it's not really tedious, and there's a few little things that are a bit off that I don't like, but I was just surprised because all the other episodes have had something that made me want to throw something at the screen. This episode didn't have that. There was no little opener that was just a deliberate slap in the face of Star Trek fans and trying to assault us. It just went straight into the episode and just focused on the story, and the characters had some, like, the humour was more character-based, and it was more just the characters having character. It wasn't, it was just better, and I'm just surprised. And there may be hope that by the end of the show, it might actually be decent, but I don't want to get my hopes up, but yeah, it could, maybe they worked out, well, this isn't working, we should be doing this, and maybe it may go in a direction that actually makes it resemble something like Star Trek. So I'm just going to be optimistic. I'm kind of shocked that in between one episode to the next it changed so much, and maybe it was just a random fluke and the next episode is going to go back to crap. I don't know, but I'm just going to hope it gets better, and I might actually enjoy an episode. Like, I almost enjoyed this. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Wasn't really good either, but it was just okay. And I wasn't expecting even okay from this show after the first, like, 3 or 4 episodes. I really wasn't. So I think that's it. I can't read my own notes. I don't know why I bother making them. There was nothing else sort of interesting that happened in it. The show looked good. The ship design was nice. It was kind of like the planet and all that. There was breaking apart, and it was just everything was like okay. Yeah, I'm just so yeah. Episode 5, Cupids Errant Arrow, wasn't bad. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of it. You know, comments are fun, as I've said before. And God willing, this is the beginning of a change. And hopefully it won't just revert back to the same crap that we had to deal with for the first few episodes. I'm going to hope. Thanks. I'm so tired.